Howdy, Embers. My name is Heron,
And I'm Gygus.
and welcome back to the corner.
You messed that up.
Did I?
Yes, you did.
Oh, well, that is what it is.
Hey, Embers. Welcome back
Why?
to the corner.
Why? We had a good take, even if it was bad.
I had to clarify for you because you did it wrong, so I had to do it right.
Oh, wow, so you just swoop in and take the credit like you did in the last
Oh,
Mario
yeah.
Wonder episode?
Oh yeah.
Alrighty, well, welcome back to Campfire Embers, our lovely podcast that we are scraping the bottom of the barrel for topics.
You're just admitting to the entire world that our podcast is just slowly deteriorating into random things.
The last two episode titles are, if are anything to show for that, absolutely.
Nah, we're just experimenting with stuff. We wanna move more into just talking just on our own without being scripted. So it's whatever we choose to talk about, which is exactly what we planned for this podcast. So
yeah, and as we've stated in all of our other podcasts and in a couple of our other videos as well, if there's anything specific you want us to talk about or unpack, let us know and we'll take it into consideration.
yeah. So with that out of the way, what are you gonna be doing for the holidays? Because Christmas is right around the corner, and we're gonna be doing stuff.
I have no plans.
You have no plans?
I have no plans except for going to visit family.
Nice.
That's it.
It's probably the same with me.
Everything that erupted the last holiday happened while I was there. Just the only difference being the only one thing that was set in stone was the Eagles game we went to. So it's anyone's guess what I'm going to be doing over the holidays.
Yeah, so Heron will be out of town, which means we're going to be doing a lot of streaming to kind of make sure everyone on YouTube has enough content to last for next couple weeks.
Yep, right
until the beginning of January. I may be doing a couple streams, possibly. I don't know yet.
It's your call.
It really depends on where I'm at with this next project. So
yep,
we'll see with that.
As far as my quote-unquote content goes, even though Gygus edits everything, Mario 64, I'm going to do my best to bust it out and finish it for you guys because we are very, very, very close to finishing the game. I say that still having about a little less than 50 stars to get, but it's fine. But yeah, speaking of which, we do apologize for the late upload on the next episode. Recording issues happened.
Yeah, so this comes out every Saturday. It's our Sunday Mario 64 episode. Hopefully, we'll be out by the time that this goes up. But we had some audio corruption issues, so maybe a couple days later than it usually is. But if you're listening to this on YouTube, it doesn't really matter to you. But
no, I thought it was kind of funny because I watched it as you uploaded it yesterday. Because it uploads for us faster than everyone else, so that way we can view our content before it finally pushes to the public. So I watched it, and about a 3/4 of the way through, something very, very weird happened. My voice just kind of kept looping.
Yeah. and I don't know why that happened because even during editing that never happened.
Yeah, so to the end of the episode, it just got to the point where I was responding to myself, and 15 different topics were happening at the same time.
So if Heron has a voiceover in that episode, you know why.
Yeah, we didn't. There's a good chance that's gonna end up being post commentated. But there's literally nothing we can do about it because I even texted Gygus as soon as I finished the video. I literally stated my brain is broken after listening to the last episode of Mario 64.
Yeah, and I'm surprised you watched it because it was 2 a.m.
Yeah.
I was editing that video for 5 hours and then passed out immediately after. So I'm a little upset.
I guess it is what it is. But so yeah, Mario 64 will be coming out eventually.
Yeah. So for me, after the 18th, will be pretty much free for an entire month. So that hopefully will allow me to start uploading some more solo stuff on my side because I haven't done anything since Potion Permit, and as much as that game is fun to play, it very much isn't really a game to be played as a YouTube video because it's a lot of grinding, a lot of
It's
it'd
definitely
be a
more,
lot of editing through things, and
it's definitely the kind of series you want to hyper condense and share a highlight reel of more than
yeah,
anything else.
it's not so much a gameplay game,
Yeah.
but unfortunately, because it is a lot of fun, and I will be definitely playing more of it on my own time. Um, but yeah, so I've been doing more Rust. Because I'm trying to get that prepared for January. That's my goal, is to have a couple episodes coming out on January. I can't promise that it's going to be a regular thing just because of how long it will take to actually make the videos, but I can definitely say a couple videos will be coming out in January, and that's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But as of right now, I'm just trying to learn how to play the game, and
Yeah, my whole goal for Mario 64 and whatnot is to finish it for you guys by the end of the year, or at least get it prep recorded so that way I can start working on my next Let's Play because we are very, very close, and I'm very excited for the first Zelda game to take off on the channel.
yes, and I as soon as you start doing that, I'm going to be playing my game for the next video, so that way I'm ready to go whenever your Let's Play is done.
Yep. So we are we're getting places. So I'm guessing is that foreshadowing that you are going to play some Minish Cap for us?
Yes, I will be playing Minish Cap. I've done a casual playthrough already of Minish Cap. I haven't finished it. I almost beat it, and then my Switch decided to do a system update, and I lost several hours of progress. So,
Well, I think it's officially enough time has passed to where you can just play the game again.
yeah, I
So-
definitely will be doing that before I start editing, or not editing, playing it on my own for YouTube and streaming and stuff like that, because I wanna make sure I know where I'm going, because it's a very confusing game.
That's fair. And I mean, the nice thing about Skyward Sword is even if it's like 3D open area esque, like the facade of an open area is there's a very linear way you have to play all of those. So it's a very straightforward game. With the only hiccup being recalibrating the motion controls every 10 seconds. So we'll see how many times I mentioned that during the Let's Play.
That'll be interesting.
Nonetheless, I'm excited to play it. I guess 8 minutes into this podcast, we can go ahead and start with our opening question that we prepped.
Well, just rounding back to the holidays, like just talking about. Well, I mean, you're like I said, we're gonna be out of town. I'm not. I'm gonna be trying to do stuff.
Yeah.
This is gonna be one of the very few holidays that we're gonna be not kind of like hanging out together, because
Yep,
we tend to just hang out during holidays and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean Halloween. Even we, as soon as we finished that episode, because that was the day we recorded episode 4 of Mario Wonder, and I guess displayed his incredible editing skills with the montage.
Yeah, that was. I'm still proud of that.
Yeah, but as soon as we got done, we went out and got pizza, and then we went back to my place and watched the first couple Saw movies with my dad.
Yeah. But yeah, so the last holiday that we spent together was probably last year's Halloween.
Yeah, that's
Like that was actually like out of town.
yeah, it was. Let's see here. If I'm remembering that correctly, that I guess we can start with the drive up, because we left pretty early in the day, but because of winter being a thing, it got dark very fast.
Yeah.
So we left, and then I was kind of hungry, but I really just wanted to get on the road. So as soon as we got done, we pulled off to this like an hour into our drive. We pulled off to go to McDonald's, and my brain stopped working while we were driving, and I missed the exit to the McDonald's.
Yep.
And and then it took it a step further, and we got back on the interstate completely unintentionally. So just like 10-minute detour that we didn't need to take.
Yep.
and then and then it was like another hour and a half until we got to the next town that had a
Yeah, I still find it funny.
We handle it's kind of funny because I've been driving for significantly longer than Geigus has. So whenever we take big trips like that, I end up being the one driving, just because not only do I have a better mileage based car, but at the same time I also know the roads of the area we live in a lot better.
Yeah.
So
I'm still the foreigner.
you are indeed, but to circumvent things like what happened at the initial or like an hour into our drive, Geigus tends to be my navigator, which usually works.
Okay, that detour was...
That was all me. I
100%
like guarantee that. And the funny thing is, even when we got to the place we were trying to go to, when I was visiting family, it was like
left, Aaron, left, not right.
Turns right. So it's not necessarily that I don't listen to Geigus. It's just that like my brain chooses to do a thing, and then we go with the thing.
Yep. Yeah, I won't forget that day because it took an extra 30 minutes to our drive.
30 minutes. It was only 30 minutes. I've driven up to the same place before and it taken 8 hours.
Oh yeah, I've had stories of other vacations.
Yeah, driving into a tornado.
Yeah, I drove into a tornado. That was fun.
How are you alive?
I don't know. It wasn't me particularly, but it wasn't fun because
no, I doubt
you can't see anything and the sky's green and it's hailing and yeah. And then that same vacation, there was a lot of flooding and required us to take this very sketchy path through mountains and added an extra 6 to 8 hours onto our drive, so we didn't get to where we were heading until 2 in the morning, and we left 6 a.m.
Yeah, I mean, longest drive I've ever been on was back in 2014 when my family went to Disneyland in California, and we, instead of flying out like normal people, decided to drive it.
Yep, that's fun.
I remember going to Vegas 6 hours later because we left around midnight, and we got to Vegas and we went to this restaurant and I had watermelon juice and it was delicious, and then I remember getting back on the road and passing out. So yep, that was a thing that happened.
Yeah, I mean my hometown is roughly about an 18-hour drive from where we live, so that's you'll just be leaving early in the morning and then you won't get there until early the next day.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, well, yes and no. I mean, you've got time zones there as well, so
it's an hour ahead of where we are.
So you actually end up being there later. I don't know, time zones are funky. But yeah, as far as vacations go, that's the trip that we went on was very, very fun. We it was the first time I actually got to go see my sister's apartment, and we became zombies.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. We have a lot of pictures saved up, and we actually did really well for not a lot of money.
I was very impressed with my sister. My sister is a very, very fantastic artist in a lot of ways, and thanks to her, we looked as awesome as we did. So
yes, but maybe we can eventually do some collaboration stuff with her and get some cool art on her channel or something like that eventually.
Right. If you have any art, send. I don't know what you would draw, but hey, it's there, and we will gladly accept it and feature it if possible.
Yeah, that's true. We're wrapping up this certain topic here, but I have another one.
All right.
This is one that we haven't really talked about much, surprisingly, because of how big of fans we are of this.
Okay.
Harry Potter.
Oh my. That's a topic.
Yes.
I guess I could start with how I got into Harry Potter. I wouldn't say I'm nearly as big of a fan as Harry Potter as Geigus is, but I do still enjoy the series. So my sister was the one who originally brought Harry Potter into the light, for our family. She was the one that picked up a book, started reading it, and then that was because me and my sister didn't exactly have the best I guess relationship with the concept of reading a book. We our parents had a system in place where if the book had a movie adaptation, we would get the movie adaptation as a reward for finishing the book. So that's how I got to watch the first Harry Potter. That's how I got to do all that stuff because my sister read the book. So and then I wouldn't read the Sorcerer's Stone until probably, oh man, I don't even remember. I think I read that in 4th grade.
Yeah.
Because sorry.
No, sorry. I think you're a little bit ahead of me on the books because I'm currently trying to read through the books right now, but I've watched every movie there is of Harry Potter currently.
Oh, I'm the same way. I even watched
the Fantastic Beasts as well.
Yeah, I'm the exact same way. I've seen every movie. I've read the first book. I've read the first book.
Yeah. I'm working on it.
I have. Do I?
So for people who have been watching our channel for a while now, you can probably guess where we fall into in terms of houses. Heron.
I mean, in all fairness, my personality is funky because a lot of people I would say would regard me as either a Gryffindor or a Hufflepuff, but I am not.
If our content says anything about you, you are definitely not a Hufflepuff.
It's been a while since I've taken the quiz to see where my personality lies right now, but for a very long time, for multiple years, for I would say roughly a decade, you didn't even have to explain it. I was a Slytherin.
I would still say you're a Slytherin.
I mean, I'm cunning, ambitious. What's the other one?
I don't know. I'm not a Slytherin.
There's 3 personality attributes that attain, I guess that tie into every member of every house. So, resourcefulness and loyal. Yeah, that absolutely describes me.
Yeah, so you're still a Slytherin.
Yeah, I would. Let's see. Because you are a.
I'm a Gryffindor.
You are. Let's see what your traits are. Let's see if these line up.
I believe it's brave, loyal, and is it courageous?
Close. It's boldness.
Boldness.
So it's
okay.
bravery, honor, and boldness. And then loyalty is in there as well because, well, I mean, it's Hogwarts, so loyalty is kind of an unspoken thing that is across all of the houses.
Yeah.
But because I mean, like even Ravenclaws have loyalty to their pursuit of knowledge, and then Hufflepuffs have loyalty to their Slytherins. So
the reason why I kind of brought up Harry Potter and stuff like that is because Hogwarts Legacy came out this year. It was earlier this year, granted, but it still came out this year.
The funny thing was I was in GameStop the other day, and I saw a Switch port for Hogwarts Legacy, and
I bought Hogwarts Legacy for my girlfriend, and the reason why I'm saying it here is because she does not watch our content. She should, but she doesn't. I'm calling her out now because I know she won't listen to this.
But the funniest thing was I picked that up and I was just like, because I was buying a birthday present for my mother, and I looked at this. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot this game existed.
It's actually really fun.
Oh, I'm sure it is. Like I've heard nothing bad about the game. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think this is going to be a game I play for a very long time, even though there's a Switch port.
Well, the thing about it is, like, for me at least, I played quite a bit of hours into it, and then I believe another big game came out and then I switched to that and then forgot about Hogwarts Legacy.
What was the game that came out?
I don't remember.
Was it Tears of the Kingdom?
It very well might have been, but I don't know because it came out like earlier this year. But yeah, something really cool about it people that would have played it would know, but everyone that somewhat knows of the house sorting thing knows of the Wizarding World and the Wizarding World app and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. You can actually log into your Wizarding World account.
Yeah, you can port over all of your stuff.
Yeah, your house, your Patronus, your wand. It's really cool because as soon as I joined in. I even pre-ordered the game, so I got some extra cosmetic stuff and a hippogriff and stuff like that. But it was really cool because it instantly brought it in, and I got to go into the I forget what the name is called for the shop, but the place where you get your wand.
It's a thing.
Yes, but essentially, like, that's how you get your wand and stuff like that. But yeah, it's a lot of fun, and that's essentially what I got into Hogwarts. Yes, Harry Potter. Ollivanders, yes. That's what I was.
I'm being responsible and looking things up during our podcast.
But yeah, that's why I got was on the topic of Harry Potter.
Oh, was it just that? I mean, I guess I can kind of piggyback off of the concept of that because the game I bought for my mother was Super Mario RPG, the remake for the Switch.
I wanna play that. I've seen a lot of good things about that, like, just in general. It's on the Switch port from.
Yeah, the SNES has the original Super Mario RPG that you can play. So
yeah, I might end up trying that because I played Mario and Luigi Dream Team.
I played Superstar Saga and a little bit of Bowser's Inside Story.
Yeah, so I'm kind of familiar with the whole RPG thing.
Turn battle based system, like all that good stuff.
Mario RPG is something I want to get into. I don't know if I'll get the new, like, the remake.
You might just play the old one because I'm thinking of doing the same thing. Because I've been craving Mario since we started our Let's Play of Wonder, and I've constantly find myself like fighting the urge to go out to GameStop and buying a copy for myself.
What do you think of us playing the new Peach game when it comes out in February?
I honestly think what is it? It's Princess Peach Showtime. I think that's what it's called.
Yeah.
I honestly think it has the potential to do really well. Just from what I've seen so far, it's a different take on Peach as a character, and I think it just has the option. It has a lot of opportunity, but as I do with every Nintendo game, because of, things that flop every now and then, I have no expectations for it.
Yeah, to me it just looks like Kirby, but in Mario World.
I would say
because
it's more like
Peach has a bunch of different costumes and stuff that does different things, and
I was kind of going with the assumption of kind of comparing it to Paper Mario Thousand Year Door, because the whole concept of, like, the battling in that game is that you're on a stage.
Well, the thing is, I've unfortunately never played a Paper Mario game. I wanted to.
I am shocked. This is new information to me.
Yeah, I never played a Paper Mario game. I wanted to, but I've never had the money to actually go and get it, because when I had a 3DS, the Origami King came out, and I wanted to get it, but I never could afford it. So.
You mean Sticker Star?
It might have been Sticker Star. What was Origami King? Was
Origami King was Switch.
Was Switch?
Origami King is the newest Paper Mario game to come out.
Okay.
The one before that was Color Splash, and the one before that was Paper Jam.
Okay. I'm thinking of Sticker Star then.
Yeah. Props to you on avoiding Sticker Star.
Was it bad?
It is hands down probably the worst video game ever made. And okay, let me rephrase that. It is not the worst video game ever made, but it is the worst Nintendo game that has ever been made. It is there is let me do my stereotypical plugging other channels content here. Chugga Conroy, one of my all-time favorite Let's Players, did a series on his channel called Chugga Sticks It to Sticker Star. And it is a 6-part series on why Sticker Star is the worst Nintendo game to have ever lived.
Interesting.
I'm just going to direct people to that because it's I don't want to talk about that game.
Well, the 3DS in general was, like, revolutionary for its time in terms of consoles, but also very controversial with the games that came out for it, because there was some games that were really, really good, Sorry, I'm fidgeting right now.
Do you want a stress ball, good sir?
I don't have one, but
It was just funny because like I was just watching. I was listening to a guy because I was just watching him fiddle with the stabilizer for the mic.
this isn't a stabilizer. It's a winch.
Well,
Or not a winch, a clamp.
well, yeah, no, it's a clamp, but the clamp is what stabilizes the arm that attaches to the mic stand. So
Anyway.
technically, it's a stabilizer.
As I was saying, yeah, 3DS has very controversial games because there's games like Dark Moon,
Dark Moon is so good.
and then
I don't care what anybody says. Dark Moon is so good.
Spirit Tracks and Phantom Hourglass.
Well,
are
that was
also really-
DS.
yes, but it's still 3DS, DS.
I guess so.
They're played the same games.
That's true.
But there's other games like Super Mario Bros. 2.
Super Mario, New Super Mario Bros. 2 was on there. A Link Between Worlds was on there, which was basically a heavy remaster of A Link to the Past, just with different gimmicks and a couple of different ways you got certain things. Which is why I don't really view it as a different game compared to Link to the Past, even though a lot of people would argue it is, because it's different characters. You've got what happens at the end being completely different. You've got like stuff like that. I mean, I don't think we'll do a series on A Link Between Worlds, but I definitely think we'll do a video on it at some point.
Yeah. I was more so saying like the controversy about like Super Mario Bros. 2, because it's essentially just a remake of New Super Mario Bros. For the DS, but just more coins.
Well, I mean, how much do you remember of that game?
I played it quite a bit.
Because
So,
I only played the first world of it,
well,
and then I got bored.
I played all the way through the original New Super Mario Bros. Because it was built into my 3DS.
Oh yeah, that's right. You were saying.
Well, not
that.
my 3DS, my original DS.
Yeah.
I had a 3D Land built into my 3DS.
Oh, okay. 3D Land was great. I loved 3D
It was a
Land.
great game.
The the long jump was horrible, but everything else about that game was great.
Yeah. Speaking of DS, I don't know if I said this in a podcast, but I definitely think I talked to you about it. One of my absolute favorite games on the DS was the original Plants vs. Zombies.
Yeah, you were,
and that was whenever it was like just becoming popular at that time too. Because it was like a lesser known game because it was only on a computer, and then they branched it out to smartphones and
mobile devices,
and later the DS.
Yeah.
And something really cool about Plants vs. Zombies on the DS is if someone else had the game, you could play essentially like a Gardens and Graveyards kind of thing, where someone played as the plants and the other person played as the zombies.
You had talked about this before. I just don't think it was in a podcast.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I don't think I said it in a podcast, but I know I talked to you about it. Mm-hmm. That is like one of the coolest things I've ever seen in Plants vs. Zombies, and I don't think they ever brought it back.
No, I mean even like having like the 2-player, I guess, interface, so to speak, was a really, really cool concept that I really liked, because the only game that I can really remember being that being a thing, I realize it's not necessarily the same thing you're talking about, but like same device, different sides of the device doing different things, and having like different interfaces on each side of the device, and then kind of battling. The only game that I remember that being a thing for was either checkers or chess. So, but you're talking about actually having like LAN connected DSs where the other side is the other DS playing as either the zombies or the plants.
Yeah, and a lot of games for the DS also did very similar things with LAN, but I feel like the DS was kind of the thing where it really started bringing that like multiplayer aspect into it. Like,
oh, absolutely.
Well, not like multiplayer in general, but like just across devices.
Oh, absolutely. One of the during so Pokemon Black and White heavily took advantage of this via the how you trade in that game. You, instead of it being like wirelessly connecting and stuff like that, what you would do was you would friend the person that you're trying to trade Pokemon with, and you would actually like take the bottom of the DS and shove it against the other DS, and it would instantly trade your Pokemon.
Yeah.
Which is like one of the coolest things that like the DS or like any piece of Nintendo has ever done, and they never brought it back.
Well, I think the first device, and maybe even the world's first multiplayer device, I believe, was like a clunky thing that you could add on to the Nintendo 64, and the only way that it was for Zelda, because they rented a like a brain does not work, like a channel, like a broadcasted channel that you would tune into like every week, and you would play an episode of Zelda, and it would save your I believe it would save your progress, or it would be a certain like amount of time that you could do it, and if you didn't complete it in that time, then you kind of just you just had to wait till next week and then play the next portion.
Huh. That's, being as big of a nerd as Zelda as I am, I've never heard of that.
Yeah,
so.
it was. I believe I watched it a while back on a YouTube video, but yeah, it was really interesting because I think there was like leaderboards and a bunch of things. I don't know if it was 4 swords though.
Oh, it definitely wouldn't have been 4 swords. 4 swords was way, way later. In the realm of like
I don't know. It's a very like lesser known thing, but I don't know if you were able to play with like actual like online with other people, but I definitely know it was like a Zelda that you had to tune in with this like really expensive, like it was thousands of dollars to get this one little device.
I don't doubt it. At that point, tech like that would have been absolutely revolutionary because, like, the dial-up internet was just getting started at that point.
Yeah.
So it would have been insane to see something like that because that was back when like Game Sharks and Nintendo Power and stuff like that were huge things, where you could like plug those into devices and cheat your way through systems and find guides on games like where the 6-star in Whomp's Fortress is in Super Mario 64 and stuff like that. You cannot tell me that you would know outhand if where that star is if nobody told you about that.
Yeah.
Like, that star is so ridiculously hard to find. I'm not speaking from, like, experience and stuff like that. It's just more along the lines of, like, if you took that at face value, like a grown 30-year-old man playing Mario 64 for the first time saw that star in the World Select and stuff like that, you wouldn't know where to go. You would see that it's called Blast Away the Wall, and then you would look at walls and be like, what?
Speaking of Mario 64, we recently kind of rewatched a couple of our videos with a couple of our friends because we were trying to show them and stuff.
They wanted to see our content, and they just didn't have the time for it. So.
And we watched one of our newest Super Mario 64 videos. What, based off of that video, is there anything that you would change, or would you keep the same?
So I assume you're talking about Pains of the Pyramids.
Yes.
It's funky because you edited that video so well to the point like where you made it fluid. I think the only thing that I would change about that video is making sure all of the locations of the red coins were on there. And I've even talked to you about that because you ended up.
I was more so talking about like as of recording it.
As of recording it, I think no. I honestly don't think I would have changed anything because granted one of the things that I found that I struggle with recording via myself and why I talk to you in the background a lot during that series is because I struggle to keep the conversation flowing when it's just yourself.
Yeah.
And it's a thing that I recognized very, very like a couple of years ago when I was watching Let's Play videos, and I found out that I enjoy listening to more of a conversation rather than somebody talking to me. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it's not necessarily that like it's bad. It's just I now understand the struggle of it.
Yeah. And just a little bit of editor's insight here for everyone, like a behind the scenes thing. I cut like 30 minutes of Pains of the Pyramids.
Yeah,
just to failed attempts.
The funny thing is during the start of the episode that was supposed to come out today, I actually state that wow, I didn't think it would take me 41 minutes to finish Shifting Sandlands.
Yeah, it was a painful episode to edit.
It was a painful episode to play. You underestimate just how many times I died.
Yeah, so I would have made that into a montage, but it didn't fit right, and I was also very tired because it was 2 a.m. and I just wanted to sleep and finish the video.
But yeah, so that's I mean, it is what it is at that point because my brain just reality checked and I was just like, we're talking about Mario 64. Delete. But yeah, no, Mario 64. I'm still happy with that series. It still is doing very well. It's better than I ever could have hoped it doing, especially for this early on in the channel, this early on in the channel's life. And
Yeah, because you're even getting more people watching your 64 than Mario Wonder right now.
yeah, no, I would like Mario Wonder. At like face value, we broke the charts of everything else on our channel because or you guys did rather, and it just rocketed off. And then Mario 64, the initial pilot episode for that got about 170 views, and then episode 2 is close to breaking 600, and it keeps rapidly gaining views, and I don't understand anything anymore. Because like just like it's funky because every episode, like other than episode 2, yes, it's still gaining views. So why is that video? Why does that video have more views combined? It has more videos at face. It has more views than all of the other views of the other episodes of Mario 64 combined. It is responsible for almost a quarter of the views on our channel.
Yeah, I think a reasoning why is like just looking back at those videos, you can kind of go into any video, regardless of order, and it still feels like it fits in. It's not out of place.
Yeah, I mean,
Like, granted, you don't know like the beginnings, but because there's so many different levels of that game, you can just go in and just pick up like nothing ever happened.
it's true, and I mean that's one of the best things about Mario 64 is you can just drop into a level and just play, and that's not readily apparent for a lot of video games, especially Mario, because like the only games that really do that are like Sunshine, Galaxy, specifically Galaxy 1, and Mario 3D World. Well, no, not even Mario 3D World, because that's a game board-esque setup that you have to play levels to unlock, whereas you just have to play an initial amount of levels to unlock virtually everything in Mario 64, which I really really love. And the fact that you can beat the game without collecting 50 stars is insane, because you can either just straightforward and go beat the final boss, or you can go through and you can experience everything else the game has to offer. And that's what I love about games like that. I wish a lot of games do allow you to do that, specifically so you can see the end of the final boss, but they always have something after that. If you 100% the game, you get to do more stuff with. For example, New Super Mario Bros. Wii, you can't play all of World 9 without 100%ing every other level in that game.
Well, that's the same with Wonder as well.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing that I feel like kind of takes off from that as well is Odyssey, because you only need a certain amount of moons to progress to the next level, but there's still many more moons.
And then you take that a step further, and after you beat the game, you have the moon rock moons that you can get after. So as soon as you beat the game, you can go back and you can lock like another 50 moons per level.
Yeah, that's another game that I need to finish.
I think the trickiest part about finishing Mario Odyssey is the fact that after you beat the game and after you like 100% every level before like you go to the moon, like before you beat the game and you unlock all of the moon rocks and stuff like that and all of the other kingdoms, is at a point you just get to the point where you've exhausted every portion of the level, and it largely just becomes, oh, I can't find this moon, guess I'll look it up.
Yeah.
And then you keep doing that, and eventually you just get bored with the game. So there definitely is a limit to how much content you should have in a game, especially like where Mario is concerned, because granted you can like break open the stratosphere with whatever you want to put in the game, obviously, but with Mario, like Mario Odyssey, even though it's semi open world, you still only have that condensed area. And I'm very excited because there's speculations of the next Mario game coming out this time next year, which would be insane. Because think about it, we haven't had an on paper 3D Mario game announced since Odyssey.
Yeah, which was the beginning of the Switch, roughly about 6-7 years ago.
It was a while. Let's see, like Mario Odyssey was released.
Well, I just remember Breath of the Wild came out with as like a bundle thing when the Switch first came out, because that was like a port over from the Wii U.
Well, I mean, I love the original name for Breath of the Wild. It was Zelda U, because the funniest thing about the Wii U, and just like the cherry on top of the console flopping for Nintendo, was the fact that their Zelda game that was supposed to save the Wii U got ported to the Switch as a release title, as a launch title. So you can still play Breath of the Wild on the Wii U, but why would you? I the funny thing is, I say that with my first instance of playing Breath of the Wild being over at my buddy's place, and me playing the Wii U version. So I have experienced the Wii U version. It was my first taste of Breath of the Wild, and oh man, that was bad. I was just like, Breath of the Wild was still a great game. Don't get me wrong. And if you played the Wii U version, props to you, for not buying a Switch. I realized that sounded like a backhanded compliment. It ended up actually kind of being one. Sorry. Anyways, going back to Mario Odyssey, yeah, released in 2017. So it's been its actual date was October 27th. So it's been almost, and it will have been 8 years this time next year, when fingers crossed we get that 3D Mario game.
I mean, it's about time, because we just got a new Zelda game, which roughly took about the same time.
We got a new Pikmin game. We got a new 2D Mario game. We got a open world, well, semi-open world Sonic game. We got let's see here. What else did we get? We got a Metroid Prime remaster. We got Xenoblade 3. The Switch has had so many good games and so many big titles for each of their series that it just doesn't make sense why their mascot would suffer.
Yeah.
And it's not. I mean, don't get me wrong, Mario Wonder is a fantastic game, and I constantly look forward to playing it. But it's not the 3D Mario that it's become.
Yeah.
Because before Mario Wonder was a thing, the most recent Mario game to come out were largely remakes, Mario Party, or it was a 2D Mario game. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah.
Because I mean, yes and no. Because like the first the Mario game to release before this one was 3D All Stars. So we had remakes of 64, Sunshine, and Galaxy, which are great games. Don't get me wrong, but like, why? Like, I really wanted an HD version of Sunshine to play. Don't get me wrong, but like, I wanted new, and that was the point where, like, that was the one thing Mario didn't have was new. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So that's where I'm at with Nintendo, is just like, I love all of the stuff that they're releasing. Like, next year we're getting so many good games. We're getting well, largely we're getting remakes, yes, but they're games that not a lot of people got to play because they were released so long ago, with the only actual like new game coming out being Princess Peach Showtime. So we're getting now officially rebranded Luigi's Mansion 2 HD, and we're getting a remake of Paper Mario Thousand Year Door, which is so good because they just ported over with the N64 Virtual Console being on the Switch. You can play the original Mario, Paper Mario, and soon we'll be able to play the sequel to that again, which is great because I never got to play that game. Mm-hmm. But I did get to play Super Paper Mario, which I would love to see a remake of, because that game is insane.
Yeah, as I said, never played a Paper Mario game.
You need to.
I will.
It's Mario RPG. That's what it is. I
also need to play Mario RPG.
You also need to play the original Mario and Luigi.
There's a lot I need to play.
There's a lot of just older games that you need to play. Then there's a lot of newer games I just need to play.
Yeah.
We're working on it. I played a lot of Tears of the Kingdom last night. Like, a lot. I finally discovered the final rune, the auto build rune, and I finally figured out how you initiate stuff with Master Koga. I finally figured out what the bubble gems are used for. I finally figured out how to get the Mystic Armor. I finally figured it out. Everything that's happening with Terrytown, I finally figured out how to get like the Dark Tunic and all that stuff. I figured out a lot of stuff, and I even I explored a lot of the depths as well, and I figured out what Poes are used for. I did a lot of just like figuring out stuff, but I did do a lot of exploration at the same time. One of my I've now explored the other half of the map that I didn't get to explore the first time I played through. Whereas literally I have 50% of the map completed. I just have to go and do the snow area. I forget what it's called. Just like the top left corner of the map down to Gerudo. Down to the Gerudo like sand area as well. So as soon as I like redo those, I will have completed the map and I can start working on the temples, which I'm really, really excited for. I also figured out it was kind of a reality bite for me because I got to the Lost Woods and I was just like I can't go in. I can't go in from above. What?
Yeah.
So
have you made it in?
no, I haven't, but I figured out how to.
But
I haven't.
luck.
But I figured out how to because obviously if you can't go in from above and you can't go in straight away, obviously it. One of the main puzzle strats for that game is ascending. So the only way you can get into Lost Woods is ascending from the depths, which is going to be very interesting.
All I gotta say is hands. That's all I will tell you.
I guarantee. Like, I have. The funny thing was my first experience with the Ganon hands was it's kind of funny, because I didn't. My initial playthrough, I didn't figure out what they were, and I didn't like because I never saw them. But I did have my first experience with them in this current playthrough, and it was kind of funny because I hid in a tree and just kind of picked them each off with arrows. So I didn't die to them, but I definitely cheesed them, and it was kind of funny to watch.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun to just like one-on-one fight them.
Oh yeah,
without cheesing them.
I'm excited to but the thing is I'm not strong enough and I don't have enough knowledge of fusing weapons and stuff like that to figure out where I need to farm for mob materials and things like that as well. So when I get to that point, I'll definitely be able to do that. But my whole goal right now is I'm kind of treating it like I said, I'm exploring shrines and activating shrines as I complete the map, and then after I get to a certain point, after I've activated enough towers, I go back and I revisit all of the shrines and get all of the lights and blessings and stuff like that. So I'm up to the point where now I have 7 hearts, with 1 absorption heart because I took a bed, because I took a sleep in a waterbed, and we're slowly progressing. We are slowly progressing, but we're getting to the point now where when I first did my first full playthrough of Breath of the Wild, I did the same thing. I 100%ed the map first and foremost, so I could have warp points, and stuff like that, just around the map. So wherever I needed to go, I didn't have to actually like traverse there. So I had fast travel unlocked for all of those portions of the game. You know what I mean? Which makes it so much better, in my opinion. But don't get me wrong, I love the exploration aspect of it, especially when it's terrain you haven't seen before, like caves. Caves are a really cool thing that I really like about the game, and it also dives into a lot more of the lore around like the Satori Mountains and stuff like that.
Yeah, I haven't played since
Excuse me.
more so the beginning of when Tears of the Kingdom came out. I'm kind of rich because of duplication glitches. I pretty much bought everything I could in the gallery. There's still there's certain things that you cannot buy from the galleries, and I'm pretty sure you have to do on your own. I've made hundreds of thousands of rupees, duplicated a bunch of like really powerful things like the dragon horns,
I mean,
scales and stuff like that.
why wouldn't you? That was another big thing. Was I honestly thought my game was glitching when I found Nadra for the first time, because I was like I couldn't because like I shot her with an arrow, and because I wanted to see, because obviously I wanted to get the scale and whatnot, because I wanted to see what that did in this game, because in Breath of the Wild the scales unlocked the springs, and they gave you they gave you blessings and stuff like that, which were largely either armor pieces or things like that, you know. So but I wasn't expecting I couldn't figure out why I couldn't do anything because as soon as I was on top of the dragon, I was like I was farming crystals and stuff like that. And as soon as I got done with that, I shot it again, and my arrow just kind of passed through.
Yeah.
So
you've learned that they've added a cooldown effect now.
Yeah, 10 minutes, real time.
They probably purposely did that knowing what people did in the last game.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, but it's one of those things where it's just like, why?
And now do you understand why I did duplication glitches?
Yeah, absolutely. Because like that's absurd. It took me. The funny thing is, I love that I didn't give up. I threw everything I had at Nadra during those 10 minutes, and then I saw the glowingness, and I was like, oh, well that's stupid. And then I shot the claw and I left.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been wanting to talk with him for a very long time about this game, and now that you've actually played a lot of it, we're getting there. I can tell you things.
Well, we're getting there. We've gotten to the point now where I'm running out of side stuff to do, so I can actually fully focus on the story. Which
how
I'm
are
really
you
excited
on
about.
the lore?
So the lore I have not explored any more of from my most previous save. I have not done any of the temples in this playthrough yet. I haven't done anything with the Master Sword. I haven't done anything with that because I've just been experiencing new mechanics that I didn't
so
that remained
so you
unexplored.
haven't unlocked any more memories then?
No. The only memory that the only memories that I've done so far are none. Yeah, no, I've done nothing. The story has not progressed for me since initially getting to Lookout Landing.
That's gonna be really interesting. I'm expecting a phone call being like, "Oh my gosh."
I mean, Zelda has never disappointed me when it comes to story. It's one of the biggest things that ties people to the series because of the lore of just the universe of Zelda. So I'm very, very excited to see where the progression of the story is because I know for a fact that this isn't the end of this series. I know there's going to be a sequel to Tears of the Kingdom, and because I also know that you don't know how it ends.
Yeah, I want to, but I'm either working or editing or whatever else. So
yep, my free time is largely split between two things. When I'm not recording with you, watching Dragon Ball Z and playing Tears of the Kingdom. Which, hey, Dragon Ball Z is awesome. I've broken 100 episodes.
Nice.
So I've watched a third of Dragon Ball Z. We're getting there, and I'm just watching this. I'm just laughing at this point because I've been watching the Frieza saga for a while now, and the final fight between Goku and Frieza, it gets to a point where you're enamored in the story, don't get me wrong, but you're mad that they just won't finish the fights.
Yep, a lot of filler.
No, it's not filler because it's essential to the actual story. Every episode of Dragon Ball is essential to the story. That's what I love about it. And granted, yes, there might be some things that are classified as filler, don't get me wrong, but every episode is still apparent. The problem is, like I said, you're so enamored to the point where the last 2 episodes have been the exact same thing, and I'm still wanting to watch more of it.
Good luck. I don't know if I'll ever start Dragon Ball.
It's just hilarious because literally the final verge of the Frieza saga, I hope, is the planet Namek has been exploding. Like, it has been on the verge of imploding and causing the planet to explode for the last 3 episodes while Frieza and Goku are fighting. And it's gotten to the point where all of the Namekians have been revived. All of the Vegeta has been revived. All of them are on Earth, and it is literally just Goku and Frieza on Namek when Namek is about to explode in the next minute. That is what the story has been for the last 3 episodes.
Yep, and don't you find it funny how all this is happening in the space of under a minute.
An hour's worth of content in the span of a minute? Yep. Welcome to Dragon Ball. So I love it. Don't get me wrong. It's fantastic. I actually cannot get enough of it. It's like an addiction. And I want to see how it ends, because Goku is the main character. He's been around for so long. I know he dies multiple times throughout the anime, and he's already died once. So I'm just like, how is this going to end? The planet is going to explode. It's going to kill Goku. It's going to kill Frieza if Goku doesn't kill Frieza first. How is this going to end? Stop cliffhanging me. So, and I guarantee they're going to do the same thing with this in every arc following it. I accepted that going into this, but I find it hilarious that they can get away with this because of how immersive the story actually is. Because you wouldn't expect two people fighting for over 20 episodes to be as entertaining as it actually is. So now I understand. I understand now. And it's kind of hilarious, because now I can't stop.
Yeah.
I've gotten so engrossed in the series that I physically can't stop watching it.
Maybe eventually I'll get like that way with Naruto. I've done over 100 episodes. It's just hard to keep watching all in one session.
There's so much filler.
Yeah, that's what makes it hard to watch, is how much filler there is.
And I know there's ways of like watching anime, of like these bigger animes that don't have that have it set out so that way you can watch the episode spans of the story progression, so you can skip all of the filler. The problem is later in the anime, in whatever anime it is, they talk about something that happened during a filler episode, which makes it essential to watching the show. So even though you can watch it without the filler, you still end up needing to watch the filler.
Yeah, I know Shippuden gets better.
Oh yeah,
but the first like the main one is hard.
Yeah,
it's hard to watch.
It's
good though. Like I'm not saying it's a bad anime. Like,
no, it's
by all
it's
means,
fantastic.
it's
Don't
really
get me
good.
wrong.
It's hard to watch all at once.
It is. It's one of the anime where you have to make yourself watch it.
Yeah,
Which sucks.
it's more of a, okay, I'm gonna watch a certain amount of episodes, go watch a different anime, come back to Naruto.
Watch a certain amount of episodes and keep this rinse and repeating until we finally finish it.
Yeah.
I've been on this for a while now. Like, the funniest thing was I started watching Dragon Ball because I wanted a break from Naruto.
Why?
Right?
Why one long anime after one long anime?
My thought process with this was I wanted a story that would keep me entertained during the filler. And that's what Dragon Ball does. Naruto doesn't do that.
Yeah.
So my thought process was just like, okay, if this one is grueling to get through with the filler, maybe another one won't be. So I started Dragon Ball.
Yeah. And then as soon as I get done with Naruto at some point, I need to get back onto Fairy Tail, because I've only seen the first season.
Fairy Tail is so good.
And then maybe I'll start One Piece.
Just start it. It's not going to go it's going to keep going. You're just going to get further and further behind. Just start it.
I know.
Just start it. What's the worst that could happen? You take a break and then you have more to watch later?
I will probably die before this anime is finished.
All of us will.
I will never know what happens at the end.
I will. I will get caught up. I will get caught up. And with that, I think we'll go ahead and end our podcast.
Yep. If you guys enjoyed, please let us know down in the comments. And if you're watching this on Twitch, please check out our YouTube.
Please.
at Embers Corner. If you're watching this on YouTube, we have Twitch, same username, Embers Corner.
I'm proud to announce we actually started at noon today.
Yeah, we did, which has never happened.
It hasn't happened since we started.
And We're still working on Discord. Heron. Okay, bye.
There's this.